Welcome to Fabulosity For You, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time watching my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you will be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, relationship advice, and lifestyle. And if this is not your first time visiting my channel, well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome to the kings out there. And welcome to all of my new subscribers, and welcome back to all of my subscribers that have been with me since day one. Okay, so today is Wednesday. It's Ratchet Wednesday, and today I am doing a review of the 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 8, Episode 20, Tell All, No Limits. Okay, so we have a lot to go over tonight, so let me get right into it. Go get your drink of choice, go get your snack of choice, and come back and listen to your girl Angie. Text, email, call, stick it right in the bottle, baby, and let everybody know that your girl Angie is on the line and I'm about to do the review. Honey, it was a lot going on the 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. So let's start from the beginning. So Thais and Patrick, they were on their way to the mansion because they were all staying in the mansion. And so Patrick says in the car on the way that they are the most normal couple. He said he doesn't care if someone comes for him, but now if they come for Thais, it's going to be on. And I have to agree with Patrick. They are the most normal couple out of everybody. So they arrived to the mansion and they had first pick of the bedrooms. And they chose a suite. It was a beautiful suite. And the mansion is gorgeous. So then Jasmine and Gino, they were the next to arrive. And they come in. And honey, Jasmine had on a bad coat, honey, with the fur on it. She had some bad boots with rhinestones. She looked much different than she did when she was in Florida. Okay, she had on some really nice, the coat and boots, Angie loved. But what made her look real crazy is, why did she have her Miss Panama International sash on? And Patrick was like, why does she have that sash on? And so Jasmine was mad because they weren't the first to arrive, so they went. All four of them went to pick them out a room. And so Jasmine, she was like, I don't feel comfortable living in the same house as Big Ed. And then next thing you know, Emily and Colby arrived. And Emily's stomach was way out here, honey. She looked like she was going to have twins. She looked like she was going to have triplets. She looked like she was going to have her baby at any moment. And she does acknowledge that, hey, my baby could come at any time. And it looked like it. And so Thais and Jasmine was massaging Emily's legs because she was complaining and she looked so big, honey. And so then the next to arrive was Ashley and Manuel. And Ashley was like, right now we at a good place, but we never know how we going to end up feeling later. But right now we in a good place. So I'm glad they were in a good place. Ashley not trying to let go of her man, honey. Ashley knows she paying for that man. So then Liz arrives and she's by herself, and Liz lost weight and she looks absolutely beautiful. She looked happy. And so Ed arrives. So Ed comes in and Liz and Ed hug a long time. And when I mean a long time, everybody was like standing around and they was just like, honey, tears started running from Ed's eyes. And she was like this, wiping his tears, doing this to him. And honey, I'm looking like, girl, why? Girl, bye. This man has embarrassed you to the 10th power on national TV, in front of your daughter, in front of your family, in front of the whole world, and you wiping tears and hugging him like he your long lost friend. And you should have saw how everybody was looking at them. That was like, is she a big fool or what? And so Ed then goes around and hugs everyone. However, when he got to Jasmine, she stepped back and says, oh no, I don't do hugs. Patrick was being a petty Betty baby. He said, well, she gave me a hug. And everybody looking like at him like, man, bad. So Emily and Ashley and Liz go into the kitchen and they want to know, why was Ed crying? And before they can even get an answer, Ed walks in the kitchen for a drink. He sits down and he starts talking to Ashley, to Liz. To Liz. And he's like, you know what? I just hate San Diego. Oh my God, I hate San Diego. My allergies have been acting up. And Liz is looking at him like, same old Ed. Okay, she says, hey, is that all you gonna do is talk about yourself? And he was like, you right. You look good and I miss you. And when he said that, Emily and Ashley, they was looking like, we better go so they can talk. So Liz starts crying and she says, I miss you too, Ed. And then Ed was like, he looked like he was crying crocodile tears. He didn't look like, it looked phony this time. And he was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, don't say that. Don't do that. And so Ed was just, to me, his tears were phony. And so they were crying. Liz was crying and Ed was crying. And again, I'm like, girl, why are you crying over this man? I mean, I understand they had a relationship. They've been together for some years. But he never treated her right. Never. And I know by now she knows they shouldn't have been getting married in the first place. But this man sat up and didn't even tell you that the wedding was off. And she's sitting up here crying, saying she missed him. You know, she just got on my nerve because she acting like a fool. So in another room, everybody was standing around the bar, and Jasmine said the same thing I was thinking. She said she didn't understand why Ed was crying crocodile tears. She thinks that he did it really to get sympathy. And I think that's what he was doing, because he's the quote-unquote bad guy. And so he's just trying to give people sympathy. I believe that too. She said she couldn't believe Liz hugged him for so long. Jasmine said she wouldn't be hugging him. He is so disgusting. And I just don't understand why she would hug him. I just don't. You can really love somebody, but when somebody done did you wrong, they should never get a chance to do that again. You should not be sitting up acting like you missed this person that hey, you guys can be cool. I'm sorry, that just was mind-blowing to me that she was acting in that manner. And to everybody else, they felt the same way. So Ed tells Liz that he is here to support her, and he asked her how she was feeling about the tell-all, and he wants to see himself in a different light. And Liz said, that's all I wanted from you, Ed. That's all I wanted. I wanted that when we was on the last resort. I wanted that when we was on the 90-day fiancé. I wanted that for you too. And so Ed said, well, in my defense, and she was like, I don't want to hear no excuses, Ed. All of a sudden, they hear the door, and everybody walks to the door to see who it was. And Liz says, oh, baby, are you ready? And then she says, oh, I'm so sorry I called you that. And Ed was like, well, what did you call me? I called you baby. Now, my thing is, girl, it'd be different if you had just, you know, at the end of the day, y'all just broke up. You guys have been broken up for a minute. You guys haven't seen each other. It has been at least 6 months, I do believe. And you mean to tell me calling him baby is on the tip of your tongue? It wouldn't be on the tip of my tongue when somebody dragged me on national TV. I mean, she just got on my nerves. So then Lauren and Alex walk in, and everybody tell them they look like a beautiful couple, a model couple, and all of the things. And after they got settled, everybody started wondering if Rob and Sophie, are they going to come as a couple? Now, behind Alex and Lauren's car was another car, and it was Sophie and Rob. So they ride up to the mansion. That Rob gets out the car, and Sophie's like, I need a moment. So while she's out there, Sophie said to producers, they have been hanging out, having a good time, enjoying each other's company with no labels. Sophie finally goes into the house, and everybody was greeting Sophie. And Sophie looked really good. She looked very pretty. She had brown hair. And Sophie and Rob really are a beautiful couple. It's a shame that they can't get it right, because they are a beautiful couple. It's good to hear that they have been hanging out. I hope it's good to hear. And they're not putting labels on it, so they just taking it as it is and seeing how things go. And that's what they should have been doing in the first place. They should have been hanging out, enjoying themselves, trying to get back into the groove of a married couple. And so they go get some drinks, and Sophie's like, I need a strong drink. And we all know that from when she had the panic attack in Rob's car, that Sophie has what is that? She has anxiety very bad. And so she needed to take some deep breath and all of the things. So right away they go in on Sophie and Rob. They ask Sophie and Rob if they are having sex. And Rob said no, things are not the way he wants them to be. But Sophie says it was his fault the first 6 months, and now it's her fault. And Rob said that he turned her down one night, and then she rejected him for months. So they still had the issues of not having sex, which again, it's just not a good thing for a married couple that young, that they're not having sex. But let me back. So when Jasmine and Ed came in, Thais and Patrick asked them, were they having sex? And they both said no, they're not having sex. So Jasmine and Gino is not having sex, and neither is Sophie and Rob. They're not having sex as well. So Jasmine said she was worried. She said to the group that she was worried about living with Angela in the same house. And Ed says, well, he tried to give her advice and said, well, Angela, you just have to walk away. And she says, I'm not somebody that walks away. So everybody started asking, where is Angela and Michael? Because everybody else was in the house. They were the ones missing. And the producer said, they are not coming tonight. So Emily says she doesn't think Angela doesn't want anyone talking to Michael. And Emily thinks Angela, she got to tell her side of the story, but she doesn't want Michael to tell his side of the story because it probably is a different version of what she's saying. Jasmine said she glad they didn't show up, because if they would have shown up, it would have been all about Angela. And it would have been the Angela show. And so she said she hoped they don't come to the tell-all either. So Ashley tells Sophie that she would love to hear her side of the story about what happened in their marriage. And she said she's going to do just that at the tell-all. Now, I was on the YouTube stories, and it was said that Sophie is so upset on how TLC portrayed her on the show. And so she put on Instagram that she was just going to, I guess they signed papers, an NDA or something, saying they're not going to say anything about the show. And so she has broken that NDA. And she's like, she had reasons not to be in the house with Rob, and she gonna let it all out on the tell-all. She said it made her look like a crybaby, like she was begging him, and that's not what really happened. And so the last time something like that happened to one of the castmates, when they went against what they signed, they got fired. So Sophie might be setting herself up to being fired. I just don't think that they just made the story to make her look bad. I think that she's just feeling embarrassed. Sometimes you don't know how you sounding, and now she's feeling embarrassed because at first people was on her side feeling sorry for her, but now people are on Rob's side. The TLC fans are on Rob's side, and she's very upset about that. So we just have to wait and see what happens on the show, the tell-all, if she gives us information that we don't know. But she says she has all of her receipts. She says she has a problem with TLC now, and she just might be losing her job, girl. Girl, you might be losing your good job, Sophie. Girl, you was acting a fool, and you just should have just, hey, own it. That's how you act. Change your ways. So the next day, it's the tell-all, and Jasmine comes into the studio acting a doggone fool. She was yelling and hollering, saying that she was trying to get dressed, and Gino comes in the room while she was getting dressed, and she didn't feel comfortable, and they had this big old blowout. And she was like, everybody was looking like, well, so what? He came in the room. Well, I felt uncomfortable showing my body in front of him. And everybody looking like, that's your husband right here and seeing you naked. And she just acting a fool. So then Gino was like, it was just terrible. She acted terrible as usual. She started pulling my clothes out of my suitcase and throwing them to the ground and telling me to get out, and which he thought was ridiculous and selfish and very disrespectful. Now, we know he didn't spend the night in the room, okay? So, if he came in there to get some clothes or whatever, what difference did it make? If she was getting dressed, she could have went in the bathroom if she didn't want to see him naked. But as usual, she acts a fool with Gino. So, Jasmine says She does not want to share a dressing room with Gino. And Gino said, and then she was like, and Gino was very disrespectful. He didn't help me take my bags this morning. He was just being super rude. He said, of course after you was being a bitch. Tell her, Gino. Tell him, boy. Tell her about herself. So then Emily comes out and she asked Jasmine if she was to share her dressing room. And she was like, that she hugged her and said, you say yes. Save me. Save me. I am so sick of Jasmine acting like she is a damsel in distress. When she can be very violent. She done threw smoothies in his face, got all in his face, cussing him out, demasculating him. Oh my God. Gino was like, see, this is what I mean. This is why I don't want to have sex with her. Look at what she does. I can't deal with this. So after that was over, and while that was going on, everybody was like, well, maybe our relationship not as bad, because let me tell you something. Their relationship is crazy. So everybody then start talking about where is Angela. They all get ready to get on the stage for the tell-all. And all of a sudden, Michael comes in and everyone stands up, give him hugs and welcomes him. And they ask him why he didn't come to the house last night. And he said, oh, we just had a misunderstanding. And so you see Angela get out the car. So evidently they came in separate cars. And she's stomping, looking mad. And so she comes in the building and she said, I never thought when I brought him over here, things will end up like this. So Ed comes to her dressing room and she said, we got into a fight. And she was furious. She kept saying, I don't trust him. And he gonna front in front of everyone like he's such a great guy. And making me look like the bitch when he's the one wrong. And I'm not going to take that from him no more. I'm not going to let everybody know. I'm going to let everybody know who Michael really is. But Angela told Ed that they stayed last night in a hotel in separate rooms. And Ed says, well, you should be happy he's here. And Angela was like, he making me look like a fool. He making me look like a fool. He just using me for a visa. So Ed said, hang in there, Angela. And my thing is, I'm not acting like Michael is an angel. I really do believe he is using her for a visa. That's just my opinion. But at the same time, if he did have any love for her, which I have a big question mark on that, I really don't think he had love for her like that. You know, but if he did, the way she treated him, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all for leaving. And so Angela gets on the stage and she comes out and her hair looks fabulous. I got to give it to her, honey. I don't know who did her hair, but whoever did Angela's hair need to keep doing it. Her hair looked fabulous. But her face looked a hot mess. But at the end of the day, she came on with a skull on her face, you know, all frowned up. And she comes on and she said, why are you here, Michael? Why are you here? And I mean, she did all kinds of cursing at him. And I don't even know why she had a crown on. You know, she want to act like she the star of the show. She got to be the last one to come. She got to have a crown on her head. She got to be the loudest. She got to demasculate Michael. And what she don't understand is everybody is sick and tired of her behind. And so she tells everybody's like, you know, you don't let him speak. And she was like, mind your business. And she was like, steady cussing him out and say, did you tell them, Michael, how you've been sleeping in a different room? You've been sleeping in the living room. Did you tell them how you've been cheating on me? How you cheated on me, Michael? And she just did a whole lot of cursing, which I'm not going to do because I'm a lady. And the producers are telling her to sit down. But instead, she storms off. And Ed is saying that Angela's upset because she's on the hook for Michael. It's just all crazy. Because you don't have to talk to nobody like that. And they on TV, she calling this man all kinds of names. She's sitting up embarrassing him. She don't let him get nothing out. She is such a bully with Michael. And I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that. So after a few minutes, Angela walks back on like she got some sense. And then the tell-all begins. Sean Robinson, she says that Nicole and Mahmoud will not take part in the tell-all. Now, before we get into the actual tell-all, I just want to say I was on the YouTube streets, honey, and I saw they got a lot of Entertainment Tonight have several videos of Michael out on it, and he was telling them that no, I didn't come to scam her for a visa. I cared about her, but he said that she treated him like an animal, that she disrespected him and did not treat him like a husband, and he finally got tired of that. Now, he did say that on another video that he is suing Angela. That's right, suing Angela. And I don't know if he's suing TLC, but that TLC was mentioned because he feels like they should not have let her treat him like that on national TV and not tell her not to do it, or hey, if you do it, you're going to come with consequences. You may be fired. But they did not come up to his defense. And you know he can't hit her back. He'd be right up under a jail. So he felt like they did not help him in the situation. He said that Angela was locking him in the house where he couldn't get out. I don't know if he was in a room or a closet, but she was locking him up when she left. That she was disrespecting him. She would put her hands on him, and supposedly, and this is allegedly, she had bought a steam gun and she used it on him, and she threatened his life, and so he made his escape. He had his friends back at home. They sent him money. She also took his phone, and so she locked his visa up where he couldn't get to it, and she took away his phone. And so his friends back at home sent him money, gave him a phone, and hooked him up where he had a place to live. And he got on social media on somebody else's, I guess phone, social media, and said how he was not going to have his social media up, that he doesn't want Angela to know his whereabouts and track him. He also made police reports on how he was being abused. And so That's what's on the YouTube street. I don't know how true it is. I'm going to say allegedly, but that's what they say what's going on. And I could believe it. I could believe that he said he bought him here to be his slave, allegedly. That he was cleaning the house, washing the clothes, doing everything, and couldn't go nowhere. And her and her daughter do what they want to do, and the kids. And I believe that. I believe it. And so, he's suing her. And good for her. Because he said he got rights too. Because she's spitting him. I mean, she's done a lot on TV as evidence that she could be somebody that's abusing him. And not to say he don't have the strength, but I would think that he would be scared to go to jail or being deported if he put his hands on her. And who stings somebody, your own husband, with a sting gun? So I'm interested to know what this detective has to say and to get down to the bottom of what's really going on. So now we're going to go right on ahead to the tell-all. So Sean asked everybody, were there any arguments in the house? And they said no, everybody was getting along. And then Ashley said she found out most of the couples aren't sleeping together. She asked Rob and Sophie, were they sleeping together? And they said no. Jasmine and Gino said they slept in different rooms, and so did Sophie and Rob. Of course, Ed and Liz slept in different rooms, and Angela and Michael slept in different rooms. So a lot of people, a lot of the couples just are not in a good place. And so then she asked, so then Sean said that Ed and Liz will be first up to discuss what happened with them. So Ed said that Sean asked Ed, are you dating anybody? He said he is not dating anybody. Then Liz butt in and said, but you were on a dating app a month of me leaving. And Ed was like, well, you know, I was in Arkansas and there's nothing to do in Arkansas. And then Ashley said, well, then if that's the case, then say that you are dating. And Emily said, you always say you want to work on yourself. What you have, but here, this is what you've been doing, trying to date. She said that was like a slap in my face, Ed. Ed said it takes two to work on a relationship, and it takes two to break it up. Then they rolled a clip of when Liz found out that Ed called off the wedding. So after they showed the clip, Ed starts saying Liz is lying about what happened, and that day, Liz was lying about what happened that day, and tells everyone she has a bad temper. Ashley said to Ed, you keep deflecting and not taking ownership about what you have done when you are the one that called off the wedding without letting her know first. So Sean asked Liz, when Ed called to talk to you at the bar that day, and you said that no, this is not a safe place, why was it not a safe place? And she said, because the last time I came in there, he was with a woman and several women, and one of them was hanging all on him and hugging him. So Sean asked who was the woman and who had their arm around him. And he said, I didn't realize she was all over me. And then Ashley's like, okay, so you just got busted. And then he said, I didn't know the women. And Sean said, Sean said to Liz, do you think he was messing around with a woman on you? And honey, Liz was like, He couldn't pay a woman to mess around on me. And then they showed this clip where Liz said that he had a small penis. Well, that could be believable. And so Liz's mom comes to the stage. And then Sean asked her, how does it feel to see Ed today? And she said she wants to kill him. She said she opened her arms, her heart, her family to this man, and he just stomped all over her daughter. Sean asked her if Liz has a temper, and she says, yes, she can have a temper. But he treats her like garbage, and her temper is around Ed. And so Ed says, you're a liar. And Ed told her mother, when I first met you, you told me that your daughter had a temper and that she has emotional problems and good luck. And then Liz's mother Patty was like, Ed, you're a liar. I did not tell you that. And so Angela says she sensed that Liz still loves Ed, and the others agreed. Now, does she still love Ed? I think so too. I think she still loves Ed. I think she still loves Ed because she's still crying over him. She's calling him baby. She's saying how much she missed him. I mean, you could have some feelings for somebody you broke up with because your feelings don't turn on and off. But now when somebody did you wrong like that, I don't know about anybody else, but when I break up with somebody, especially after they did me wrong, I don't have no more conversations for you. There's nothing you can say to me. I'm not going to call you no baby. Don't give me no hug. Don't touch me. Don't even speak to me. So, I don't get all of this. Now, they ended on nice terms and she's being cool with him, and I can understand, but it was not no nice term. He put her out. She had nowhere to go. He sat up and disrespected her mama. Girl, bad. But anyway, she said, well, Ed and I have a lot of history. We have a lot of history. And I just never will regret for loving Ed. I would never regret from loving Ed. But no, I am not in love with Ed. I love him, but I'm not in love with Ed. The answer is no. She said there is a good person in there, but no, I'm not in love with him. And she said Ed was emotional when he saw me too. Again, girl, why are you crying? Why are you crying if you're not in love with him? So then Sean calls out Liz's new boyfriend. His name is Jason. Jason comes to the stage, and Sean asks Jason, do you have anything to say to Ed? And Jason says, I have nothing to say to Ed, and I will never have anything to say with Ed, and I will never let Ed disrespect Liz again. So Sean asked how they met, and they said it was on social media. Sean asked him if Liz has a bad temper, and he said, we have argued, but no, she doesn't have a temper. Nothing, we didn't scream or yell. And so Ed was like, when it comes out, you need to deal with it before you're going to be sitting here just like me. And so Micah tried to tell Liz, just move on. Don't think about him anymore. And so Angela was out, would you shut the F up? And I'm like, oh my God, how more disrespectful can she be? I kind of like Ed. I think they should have stepped in. Producers should have stepped in and said, listen, you're not going to keep disrespecting this man like this. But I guess, they feel it's good for the ratings, but that's just so disrespectful. I don't see how he don't cuss her right back out, because he got he could say about Miss Angela. So Liz reveals, Sean asked Liz how is basically the sex. And she said, oh, it's much better. It's much better than Ed, honey. We have great chemistry and everything is great. We're going to be moving in together. And then Patty, Liz's mother, tells Ed that he can go to hell, honey. He can go to hell. And so that's how it ended with Ed and Liz. So I think personally she moved too quickly with this Jason. I think Jason is more invested with Liz than Liz is with Jason. I don't know why she let him move in or why they moving in together. I think that if you still crying, and he should have felt a certain way. If you still crying over this man and showing him kindness and love after all the things he has done, I just feel like I wouldn't be moving in with her. I would take it really slow with Liz. I just think that she moved too quickly. I feel that if she thought that Ed would take her back, she will go right back to Ed. But Ed ain't taking her back. Ed the type to go to the next one, and they will go with Ed because Ed is on TV, and Ed, got a little coin in his pocket. But I don't think she one bit cares for Jason like she says that he does. He probably do treat her nice and treat her good, but she's not in love with him like that because I believe she still loves Ed. I don't care what she says. So next, Sean says they're going to start talking about Gino and Jasmine. So Jasmine starts off saying, I still love Gino, but I don't know if he still loves me. So Gino, like a fool, said, I still love you. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You don't take me to the gym. You don't give me money. You try to control me. You try to control my life. And Gino said it's not like that. He said that Jasmine doesn't give him any credit for doing the K1 papers. And she was like, why should I give you credit? Why do I have to keep saying thank you? You married me. You bought me over. That's what you're supposed to do. So Sean asked Gino, did he send the paperwork off? And he said, yes. I sent the permanent residency paper. I sent the work permit. And so she was like, I'm not going to keep telling you thank you or being appreciative because you sent out the papers. That's what you're supposed to do. You married me. I'm your wife. You brought me over here. Then you should have been sending out the papers for me. And that's it. And you took all day doing it. You took 7 months to do it. And so everybody was like, well, first of all, it do take a lot to do the paperwork. That's a lot of information he has to gather, a lot of paper he has to do. And so, yeah, it takes a lot of time. And so he said, Gino was like, and I'm not gonna finish her other papers if our relationship don't get no better. And so everybody was like, well, if I guess the paper of the green card. So I'm not for sure of the permanent residency he did send off, but he has not sent off for the green card for her to stay here, I guess. And that's because he said if their relationship doesn't get any better, he's not going to do it. And everybody felt like he was wrong for saying that, but I feel like this. I wouldn't do it either. If you're not treating me right and treat me like a dog, why should I bring you? Why should I get you the green card? That's just my opinion. So then Sean calls out Gino's cousin and his wife. Sean asks, what do you think the problem is in Gino's and Jasmine's marriage? And he said, well, Jasmine knows how to communicate, and Gino disagreed. And the cousin's wife said, he doesn't do much for her. he can't even take her to the gym. So Sean asked Gino if he's not working, what is he doing? And he said, I've been doing the paperwork. And they was like, it don't take 7 months. It shouldn't take you 7 months. Now, I do agree on that. But like he said, he's dragging his feet because she treat him bad. I mean, how many times he got to say that? But the cousins turned on Gino. And I just didn't appreciate that, because if you my family, you better not come on TV agreeing with my husband. And I'm your cousin. Now, I think they're agreeing with him because Jasmine know how to put on and act like she's the damsel in distress. And they believe in all of this about Jasmine, about what Jasmine is saying and how she's feeling. They not seeing that Jasmine is hell on wheels, honey. They're not seeing that. And so I wouldn't have nothing else to do with my cousins. They came on national TV and gonna be on my watch side and turn against me. Man, back. So Jasmine starts saying that it's a lot of things that's going on. We have not had sex in 8 months, and she was, and Gino was like, it's been 5. And so everybody was giving Gino a hard time about that. And he says, I don't care what nobody say. I don't want to have sex with somebody that fights me every day and says hurtful things all the time. And she says, you know what? She said, I have never even seen Gino naked. And everybody was like, what? And Gino was like, you lying. And so Rob tried to add his 2 cents in. Rob says, well, Gino probably feels demasculated, but he has to let that go. So they show a clip of Jasmine saying, stop putting makeup on what the problem is. And she reveals he's addicted to porn. And so now, what I can say about that is, I do believe something wrong with Gino. I'm going to try to make this real fast because I know this video is getting long. It's something wrong with Gino. Because ain't nowhere in the world you don't want to take your hat off. It's not no, and then you don't show your body to your woman. So it's something wrong with him, and I think it's more than just porno. Okay? Because is porno gonna make you not want to take your clothes off in front of your wife? But she knew it was something wrong with him. And she said, honey, it was something wrong with you way before you got with me. And she right. He has an issue that he needs to get together. He needs to get some counseling. He needs to do something. Because you can't be married to somebody and not have sex for 8 months. And she cheating on him. She in her right. she in her rights, because who does that? But at the end of the day, he needs to get whatever's wrong with him sexually. He's probably some type of freak or something like that. But she knew that before she married him, just like he knew that she was a trip before he married her. He paid for her, and she got what she got over here, and she was with him just to get over here. But at the end of the day, both of them knew what they were getting into, plain and simple. So I feel sorry for not neither one of them. I think it's something freaky wrong with him, and I think she's just crazy. So that's all I have. That's all I got. Next week is on the tell-all. It's gonna be off the chains, and come back and listen to my review next week and all what I have to say about it. And thank you for watching my channel.